Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Faizan Adi. The topic that is selected for this lecture is third generation biofuel, its potential, progress and prospect. I am an assistant professor at Law College of Biotechnology, Georgia University of Health Sciences. Along with the teaching, I am involved in research that are related to fermentation technology as well as microalgal technology. The content in this topic will start from the fuel and will end up with the solution that is required for the requirement of that is required to overcome the requirement of the solution. The learning objective of this topic will be to differentiate between the fossil fuel and the biofuel, different generations of the biofuel, specifically in detail about the third generation biofuel, its cost-effective production worldwide as well as in the country in the current status. So starting with the fuel are the compounds that are required for the production of the energy, and these fuel can be divided into two main categories, that are fossil fuel and the biofuel. Fossil fuel are the energy compounds that are mainly composed of hydrocarbon and originate from decayed organic matter. These are included, the fossil fuels are included under renewable energy resources, and these include both petroleum, coal and natural gas, and they are utilized for different purpose for domestic purpose, industrial purpose as well as for power stations and agriculture purpose also. Due to their extensive, although they are extensively utilized, uh, but there are certain limitations that are associated with the fossil fuel. And these limitations are due to increase in population, industrialization and urbanization. Along with this, the rise in vehicles also result in drastic decline in the availability of the fossil fuel because they are consumed at alarming rate. And it is said that within the next 50 years, there will be the complete exhaustion of the fossil fuel. Along with this, they are also involved in the global warming. So the people look towards another energy alternatives, and these energy alternatives includes the renewable energy resources. Among them are wave, wind, tide, solar system, hydroelectric power that are utilized for the production of the energy and are considered as renewable energy resources because they can be renewed after the utilization of the first one. The production of the energy from renewable resources has been started since 1965 and is still going on, and among them the major portion is covered by hydropower. While the energy production from the other renewable resources is also continued, and among them the sector that required more attention is the utilization of the biomass for the production of the renewable energy. The biomass can be obtained from animal, plants and algae, that may be the microalgae and macroalgae. The biomass from these sources could be utilized for the production of different types of biofuel that include bioethanol, biogas and biodiesel. And the advantage of using the biomass is that they are more eco-friendly and they are cost-effective. There are different generations of the biofuel based on the feedstock. First generation biofuel is obtained from the edible food sources such as soybean, sugarcane and maize. Along with their advantage, there are certain limitations. The advantages are the process is simpler one. They are cost effective, well established, and there is no requirement of any pre-treatment for the production of the biofuel from these edible food sources. However, the utilization of the food crop for fuel production is a conflict. And if the food crop will be utilized for the food as well as for the fuel, then there will be the requirement of the high land use, and that will result in the limitation of that biofuel, first generation biofuel. Along with this, the cultivation of the edible food sources will require high amount of the fresh water. So there was the discovery of the second generation biofuel, in which lignocellulosic biomass is utilized for the production of the biofuel. That is, advantage include the valorization of the waste stream. Waste is utilized for the production of the biofuel, and there is no issue or conflict because such waste is not utilized for the food purpose. But there are certain limitations, and the limitation include that biomass is present in the limited amount, and for the production of the biofuel, the such biomass required the extensive pre-treatment because they are complex feedstock. Therefore, the people look towards a more better generation, and there was the discovery of the third generation biofuel. The third generation biofuel is produced from the photosynthetic creature, and that may include the microalgae as well as macroalgae. These are the photosynthetic organisms that trap sunlight and the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and results in the production of their biomass. They have no special requirement of the land, and they can be grown in any type of water. There is no special requirement of the fresh water, and there is no conflict with the food also, because they are not utilized for the edible purpose. However, they have high lipid content as well as the starch content, due to which they can be utilized for the production of different types of biofuel. The only limitation that is associated with the third generation biofuel is high downstream cost that can be overcome, and that requires certain work on it that can be overcome easily. Now, to improve this third generation, the production of the biofuel from third generation, there was the establishment of the fourth generation biofuel, in which the microalgae strains were improved with the help of the genetic engineering to make them stable and diversify. And they were utilized for the production. They can be continuously utilized for the production of the biofuel. However, due to the utilization of the genetic engineering tools, there was safety issues that are associated with the fourth generation biofuel. A few study questions has been added, and these include: the fossil fuel originate from living animals, dead organic matter, and the answer is dead organic matter. The second one: which source contribute a major portion to produce renewable energy? And the options are solar, wind, hydropower, and biomass. Answer is the hydropower, because currently the major source that is responsible for producing renewable energy is the hydropower. The third one is: which generation of biofuel is more feasible and cost effective? As we have studied in the previous slide, the cost effective production in the current scenario is from the third generation biofuel. Now, a little bit about the microalgae. As we said, the microalgae are the photosynthetic organisms that capture the sunlight and carbon dioxide from the environment. They use inorganic carbon to produce their biomass. They have certain limitations. They have certain limitations of temperature and pH. Beside these, they can be easily grown in the wastewater. After their growth, the biomass can be harvested easily, and the biomass can be utilized for the extraction of lipid present in it. That lipid is then converted into biofuel, that is specifically the biodiesel. On the other side, the biomass of the microalgae is rich in starch also. It varies from strain to strain, different strains. So that biomass can be utilized for the production of the bioethanol through fermentation technology. Now, why we are preferring the microalgae? Microalgae is preferred for the biofuel production because of its rapid growth rate. They have high photosynthetic rate and they can fix 10 to 15% more carbon than that of the plants, due to which they increase their biomass in short period of time as compared to the plants that require the long cultivation duration or long cultivation time. Along with this, the fixation of the carbon dioxide, due to the fixation of the carbon dioxide, the microalgae results in low carbon footprint process. They can be growing as they can be growing industrial waste, and during their growth in the wastewater, they also remediate the contaminants that are present in that wastewater. So the process of cultivation of microalgae will become low cost, or it will be the low operation cost if we utilize the wastewater. The biomass that is generated by microalgae in that wastewater can be 100% recovered and utilized for the production of different types of biofuel that may include the ethanol, biodiesel, as well as the biogas. If we compare the growth or the production of the biofuel from microalgae with that of the other feedstock, then it is observed that, or it is reported that the production of biofuel, specifically the biodiesel from the microalgae, much more higher than that of the other feedstock, because of the presence of high amount of lipid in most of their strain that have high lipid content in their cells. Along with this, they also require the small space area or small land for their cultivation. If we compare the utilization of the land area by the algae, it is much lesser than that of the other feedstock or the other crops that are utilized for the production of the biofuel. So the work on the production of the biofuel from microalgae is has been currently established worldwide, and different countries are involved in producing the biofuel from the microalgae, and these countries include the Kenya, Australia, India, and so on. And if we look at our own country, that is Pakistan, then the production of energy, or the requirement of energy, or the demand of energy, is still continue to be increased from year to year in different sectors that are agriculture, domestic, commercial, and industrial purpose. And for the solution, the production of energy from renewable resources has been started, and among them different sources has been utilized for the production of the energy, and among them again the hydropower plays a major role, while the work on the biomass is negligible. However, if we look at the production of the biomass, or the production of the biofuel from the different feedstock and the microalgae from our country, then again we come to the conclusion that the production of biofuel from microalgae is still much higher than that of our traditional crops. The work on the indigenous isolate of microalgae has been started, and different researchers from the different part of the country, Faisalabad and Karachi and Lahore, are working on the utilization of the indigenous isolates, microalgae isolate, and the utilization of those isolate for the production of the biofuel has been started. The different isolate has been utilized that may include the Nanochloropsis chlorella, different species of chlorella has been explored. There are certain challenges that are associated with the production of the biofuel from microalgae, and among them, the first one is the cost-effective production system. As they are photosynthetic in nature, so the first requirement of the microalgae is the presence of the sunlight and the carbon dioxide. The climatic condition of our country support this requirement because the sunlight is present in our country throughout the year, and we have plenty of carbon dioxide also. Along with this, the microalgae require the plenty of water for their growth, and that water should be rich in inorganic salt like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and in some cases silicon also. And for their growth, open or closed system is required. So the plenty of water in our country can be obtained from different wastewater. We have the different industries and the like textile, dairy, pharmaceutical, municipal, and the other industry also. Among them, the textile industry contribute a major portion, and the waste that is generated by the textile industry not only pollute our water bodies, but it itself requires the remediation. The large amount of waste that is generated by textile industry can be utilized for the cultivation of the microalgae. So keeping this in mind, research on the microalgae has been started at Dow College of Biotechnology and Dow University of Health Sciences, and we have explored different indigenous strains of the microalgae. These microalgae strains has been isolated, purified, and has been identified microscopically. While their molecular identification is going on, these strains has been cultivated under lab conditions. A setup has been established in lab for the production from smaller scale to large scale production of these microalgae isolate. For the production of the biofuel, initially these isolate were grown in their selective media, and then the culture from this selective media was then transferred into the industrial waste that was obtained from the textile industry. Uh, and it was observed that the growth of the microalgae in that wastewater was much higher than that of its selective media because of the presence of the certain nutrients, specifically the nitrogen, phosphorus, and the other nutrients in the textile wastewater that support the growth of the microalgae, due to which their increased biomass was generated in the textile wastewater as compared to the selective media. Uh, and that fulfill the requirement of the plenty of water that is required by the microalgae for their cultivation. Besides these, the weather condition of our country support the growth of the microalgae, which can be easily overcome. Now the biomass that is generated in the textile wastewater will then utilized for the production of the biofuel. That biomass, the microalgae not only increase their biomass in the textile wastewater, but along with this, they also remediate that textile wastewater. So we obtain the two advantages. On one side, we obtain the biomass of the microalgae. On the other side, the textile wastewater was also remediated. Now, the lipid from that dry biomass was then extracted, and that lipid from different isolate of the microalgae was then converted into biodiesel. So the production of biofuels from microalgae in Pakistan is also possible, and along with the other renewable energy resources, we can utilize different biomass, specifically the algal biomass, because of our because of the presence of the huge amount of the textile or the other wastewater and the presence of the sunlight throughout the air. We can not only remediate the wastewater, beside these the algal biomass that is produced in that wastewater could be utilized for the production of the biofuel in different that can be utilized in the different sector of the country. Now in the end, again some questions. The climatic condition and the economy of the Pakistan support the production of the biofuels from feedstock, microalgae, lignocellulosic biomass, or the dead organic matter. And the answer is microalgae. A huge quantity of wastewater is daily generated by dash-rich industry, which can be utilized for the cultivation of the microalgae. Although the other waste can be utilized, but the major industrial portion is covered by textile. So the answer is the textile industry. If a country has a small land area, uh, then and they want to generate the biofuel, then which generation of the biofuel will be suitable for their energy production? And the answer is third generation biofuel. Thank you. It was all about the topic. However, we have covered only one application or the one portion of the microalgae uh, application. But there are the other portions also on which the work can be carried on for the utilization of the biomass of the microalgae for different purposes. And it's our aim to continue the work on the other sector of the on the other sector of the microalgal technology. Thank you.